Hi muckers, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've tried filming this intro 4 times and I keep messing up and stumbling over my words, so I'm hoping that this is the take. I'm hoping this is the one. I hope you're all having a great day and thank you so much for spending even a little portion of your day with me and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it and I'm very excited for today's video. So, we've got to talk about, oh, by the way, look. My friend Asia got me these for Christmas. The Starry Night Converse. Isn't this so camp? This is so camp and so silly. I'm obsessed with it. And I was like, how did you know my shoe size? And she was like, I saw your sheet. I was like, that is very creepy. Anyway, so welcome back. We're going to be talking about Gabby. Now, there is so much that we covered and so much that we didn't cover with Gabbie Hanna going on the Red Table Talk. And I feel like I talked about this and I was like, alright, I gave my opinions, and then I kind of moved on. You know, there's been so much that's been happening with Ethan and Trisha that I've kind of been so consumed with that, if I'm being honest. And I was on YouTube and I saw a video from Smoky Glow, Hannah, and it was a great video, and I was watching it and it was basically her talking about the Red Table Talk, but not, you know, giving like a drama point of view on it, like giving her like actual opinions on Perez, who was also in it, Perez Hilton, giving opinions on Gabbie Hanna and the overall flow of the episode. So I went back and rewatched it again, and there are just so many things that, you know, need to be talked about. One, for example, is a point that Hannah brought up, and I want to kind of get into this here and talk about it, but the entire episode really focuses on the fact that, first of all, 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes and they're expecting 2 interviews and a professional to come on at the end and kind of talk about both of them. But the episode's about cancel culture, and they bring Perez Hilton on as the canceller, and then they have Gabbie Hanna as the cancellee. And it's really interesting, and it was a valid point that was made by Hannah, and it was, and I want to kind of have this conversation with you and we'll talk about it. It was that Perez Hilton never, like, talked about YouTubers. Perez Hilton was not doing drama channel commentary. Perez Hilton was not doing drama channel shout. He was not doing commentary channel shout. He was literally, like, leaking information about celebrities, harassing celebrities. It's not an unpopular opinion to say that. You know, it is common knowledge that that is what Perez Hilton did, specifically in the 2000s, and he would put his hands up and say that, and he does do that, you know, in some parts of this episode. But it's really deranged that they bring on Gabbie Hanna then, and Gabbie Hanna is being used as the face of almost like, you know, this is the victim of what can happen when Perez Hilton does what he does, and when cancel culture goes too far, and these political views go too far, and comedy can't be funny anymore. And it really does just go to show how much Gabbie Hanna can lie her ass off to producers. Because if the producers were to really do their research on Gabby, they would have realized that she's the complete opposite of what they would have wanted to have came on this show. One of the arguments that happened was that Perez Hilton was basically starting to call Gabbie Hanna out for something, and she's like, nope, that didn't happen. If you looked it up, you would see it. That's not even the truth. And you know, this is a 20-minute long thing. Perez like goes like, or whatever like that. And Gabby just moves on, and the show moves on, and the Estefans move on, and they don't really take any notion of it, whenever what he said was such a valid point. Perez Hilton tried to, at least on the surface, call Gabbie Hanna out for the Jessie Smiles things, and the drama with her sister, and coming after Trisha, and coming after YouTubers, and using people for views. And Gabby, literally briefly, is like, I've never used people for my content. I don't need other people to be famous. And then it's like, if you look into things, you'll know that there's never anything that I've done. And then they just move on the sequence, and it's a really poor job done by the producers. Even worse than poor, I think it was an awful job done by the producers. And now, you know I have my degree in film, and we've done productions where we've interviewed people, or we've had people come on and tell their experience. Now, whenever we're actively interviewing people, they have to go through a vetting process. We need to know a lot about these people, what story they're going to tell, gets run past us. So Gabbie Hanna obviously did this, and the producers obviously didn't care enough to look further into it other than what Gabby was saying. But I'm like, how did they bring Gabby onto the show? Did she literally just go, I'm a victim and I want to talk about being a victim? And they're like, perfect. Like, did she literally just say that she's a victim of cancel culture and they didn't look further into it? They're like, celebrity, YouTuber, cancel culture, amazing, come on in. Because the entire thing, this entire podcast clip that has Gabby in it, is just sympathizing with Gabby. And one of the points that I saw a lot of you, clever cookies, bringing up was that Gabby says, all offense to you, Perez, but I don't need other people to make content. I don't need to talk to other people, you know, to be famous. Talking about using people for drama, and one of you commented on my video and went, Gabbie Hanna says in this clip that her most viewed videos aren't that, they're just about her because all she needs is herself. Her most viewed videos on her channel are story times about other people. So even when Gabby was trying to one-up Perez Hilton by saying that he relies on people for clicks, and she's like, I've never done that, trying to like associate it with drama, she's literally done it just in a different fashion, talking about people in story times. Gabbie Hanna is a story time YouTuber, at least that's what got her famous, got her the audience, right? Story times, calling her roommates psychotic bitches, this psycho bitch, like all these mental health words that she was using in the title to describe people in a unflattering, to say the least, way. And it's completely false and it's completely bullshit. She literally has done everything that is using people for content, whether it's in today's age, drama with Trisha and all these different people, to back in the day, using people's stories, other people's stories, because her own life is not that exciting, to get views. Oh, like, we need to talk about the sub-genre. Like, there's so much on the surface level, and then when you go deeper, deeper, deeper into it, she's just so hypocritical. I think she's so fascinating, because she's so hypocritical. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, this is the Red Table Talk with the Estefans, and I have the clip of Gabby. I just want to review this again with you, now that we're just sitting down talking. Look at the way they introduce her. They introduce her in a victimhood way. So I'm like, how did her PR team sell Gabby to them? Was it literally just as like a sob story? Because look at, she's like YouTube celebrity, she's crying over cancel culture, Perez Hilton has done this to her. Perez Hilton doesn't talk about this bitch.
Star Gabbie Hanna skyrocketed to fame in 2013 and has consistently made headlines for online feuds with other social media influencers.
So they know that much, that she's had fights with people. So why not ask her about that? Why instead allow her to just say what has been done badly to her? Because everything that has been said about Gabbie Hanna, most of it there is proof behind.
Those feuds,
not the sad fucking music. What age are we?
Escalated to online mobs calling for Gabby to be cancelled. Fans of her rivals have even started a petition.
Sorry, I can't with the sad music.
Similar to the one that led to Perez Hilton's TikTok ban.
Small
Gabby,
violin.
who's also building her music career, says...
Was this it? Did she promise to come on and play a victim if they promote her music?
This has devastated her both personally and professionally.
No matter what I say or do, it's just like everything I do is twisted.
What?
So that's the only clip context we have of Gabby's career, is her crying behind the scenes.
Come, Gabby.
Fabulous.
This table's on fire, woman. It's
Hello.
on something.
Hello.
Hey,
I was
Gabby.
absolutely just aching back there.
You should have just come on out.
Well,
I don't know who that is, but she's gorgeous.
I wanted to. I was trying to be respectful.
Welcome.
First of all, I
And
cannot
as
tell
well.
you
All they
how
are.
honored I am to be here with everyone at this table.
Well, thank you.
I am obsessed with you so much. Everything
Is Perez in that list too, Queen?
that you're saying.
At least someone. No.
So I
Her.
feel like you're speaking out of my journal. Like everything that you've been saying
Oh, she's such a kiss ass, right?
about the picture, because you.
And this is what Gabby does. She comes on, she kisses some ass, and then obviously they're gonna like her more than they normally would, so then they're siding with her.
We're absolutely correct. It's the equivalent of if somebody starts a rumor in high school and it's kind of gossip among the mean
High school fucking bullies. Sing it, Queen.
girls, and then somebody takes the overhead and announces it to the entire high school, and then the principal sends a newsletter to the entire community. That's the difference between what they did and what you did. So, validation for you.
Right.
Right? She's, I mean, there's no other way to put it than she's just kissing ass here.
You at the Gabby show, would you have posted that picture?
Absolutely not. My content doesn't revolve around other people. Like, look at my top videos. Like, I'm making content about myself. I would never want to make my name on, I was going to say no offense, but yes, offense. I would never make my name on someone else's.
This is what I don't understand about Gabby. Not only has she done that in recent months with literal drama and using Trisha in the thumbnails video after video, which we all do, but seriously, her entire content was story time about other people. Have the producers done no vetting of her? It's ridiculous.
I think that if it's something involving somebody's sexuality or anything involving anybody's personal life, I personally don't think that the media has to say anything about anyone. And that's where I think that we need a drastic shift in culture. We do love talking about celebrities as if they're characters. Humanity is completely out of the window. And I say this as somebody who obviously had a really great life online, but it's just, we have to start looking at humans as humans.
Like, I'm so confused on what Gabby's purpose is coming on this. She's really not talking about anything except for talking about how we need to start treating celebrities as people. Is she the celebrity in question that we've got to start treating as people? Like, what is her purpose coming on here? This entire episode is so bad. It's so bad. Like, if they had focused more on Perez and brought someone who was actually like a victim of what Perez has done on, it would have been great. But they brought on Gabbie Hanna. Because she's not booked and busy.
If I ask Gabby, like, who are you? Are you a musician, actress, entertainer?
I would identify as an artist, first and foremost, of a lot of different kinds. That's how I like to identify. That's what makes me feel good. And I like to spend most of my days creating. I started this when nobody knew what social media was. And I was 22 years old. I just came out of college. And I remember telling people I'm going to be a Viner. And people said, that's not a thing. And I said, it will be. So I kind of dove into it without really
so ahead of her time. So ahead of her time.
I didn't work through anything in my life yet. And I had so many mental issues going on. And I had so much past trauma. I was trying to figure out who I was. I was 22 years old. But now here I am and I'm 30. And there's so much of my life online and so much of my energy and my privacy that people now have access.
Right. What is her purpose on here? She's now complaining about the fact that so much of her privacy has been ruined because she's basically all online. But for a YouTuber to complain about that is so ironic to me as someone who's a YouTuber, someone who's choosing to daily upload, and someone who's choosing to, she's hinting at it here without saying it because she contradicts herself, that she was a storytime YouTuber telling stories about her life. She's the one who puts that information out there. There's a clear difference even with that, with Gabbie Hanna, who's actively putting out so much overload of information about her private life as a YouTuber, than a celebrity who's getting it leaked by Perez Hilton. There's no correlation between both of them here. Gabbie Hanna is not a victim. She's a victim of herself. She's a victim of her own mind.
That I wish I could eliminate. But these kids now...
You regret it.
Of course. That's why when I see these children... I was in 10th or 11th grade when I got my first cell phone. We had limited text messages. These kids are on their phone all the...
This is so weird, by the way, and one of you talked about it in the comments. Gabby here is acting like she's way older than what she is. She's talking about getting her first cell phone, first of all calling it a cell phone, and that there was limited texting and stuff. No, that's not true. Because when you look back on the fact that she's just turning 30, and whenever she would have got the phone, there was all the social medias. So she's lying here to sound more relatable to the older co-hosts. Also something to note.
The time, and what happened in the pandemic is they have nothing to do but be on their phones, accessing every part of each other's lives.
Again, ironic because her entire audience is children. If they didn't have the phones, she wouldn't get views, wouldn't get money, then she couldn't be an artist.
And then all of a sudden I'm on the internet and I have all of these followers who think I'm cool and I'm the popular girl.
So I maybe have this addiction that Perez talked about? Or?
Absolutely. But what upset me is when I was back there is I was really eager to hear what you had to say, and it feels like you can't take accountability at all. From where I'm sitting, like hearing you speak, it sounds like you have no idea what you're saying. You sound like such a hypocrite.
Ironic, and it's like, again, what is her place coming on here? Like, there's no correlation between her and Perez Hilton at all. It's not even an enjoyable or entertaining conversation. The producers really missed with this one. And also, I'm sorry, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't blame the Estefans. It's their show. So, I'm also putting blame on them. This is so badly researched, because if they had done their research on Gabby, the conversation would be so much more different. The hosts are coming for Perez for always coming for women, and then bring Gabby on as like another woman, right? But Gabby's attacked more women than Perez has. And we have the facts. Gabby's like, look up. You know, you won't see anything. We'll find a lot. She literally says it right now.
You're still doing the thing that you got canceled for, but you know you don't have to say anything about anyone. Look,
ironic? Much?
Like, you can just shut your mouth, and that'd be cool too.
That'd be cool too! Sorry, I need to stop doing that.
A lot of people can say the same thing about you. In fact, over the last few months, many people have come forward accusing you of very hurtful, toxic, cruel things. And people can do their own research.
And if they do, which you'll see, there's nothing there. I never intentionally got into the drama community.
The producers missed with this one. This was a perfect example of Gabby getting her way to look and be painted in the exact light that she wants to be painted in, which is always someone who has been done wrong. Someone who has done no wrong, it has only been wronged. Does that make sense? Gabby's not wronged anyone. Everyone's wronged her. She's the victim of herself. And the producers needed to do minimal research to have found that. And she got what she wanted. And I mean, fair play for Perez sticking up for himself and also not biting and completely calling her out and being unprofessional and calling her like a lunatic and stuff like this, which is what I would have done, because the fact she's coming on acting holier than holy and a completely different person and completely different story than what she actually does online would have pissed me off if I knew that she was just lying to my face. I want to know your opinion of it. We'll talk about it below. I can't, like, they really missed. But she got what she wanted. We'll talk about it below, Mucker. I love you. Bye.